Alright, so for this chapter of Fairy Tail, I gotta say, definitely a step up from last week. Last week, didn't really care for it, but this week, I felt did a pretty good job. We had the Loxus versus Jura fight for the most part. There was a couple of other stuff going on, but that was the main attraction of this particular chapter. And I gotta say, it was pretty nicely done. I mean, it could have been longer. It definitely could have been maybe like, an entire chapter, maybe even multiple chapters. But for what it was, I think it was done pretty well. There was no friendship power ups or anything like that. I gotta say though that it was kind of corny to see Loxus say I'm all fired up. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh really, Loxus, really? So he's definitely more. I guess that just shows that he's more closer to them now. He's not like he was before, and he looks at them as comrades now. So there's that with that. But it just felt so corny and funny to see Loxus actually say that when like, dude, you're way above Natsu. Like you don't need to say that. You could just say I'm a kick ass, something like that. So that was kind of funny. But the overall fight, pretty nicely done. They were going blow for blow. It felt like a battle of like some craziness, and I thought it was nicely done. Honestly, the way Locke just came out on top. Maybe some people wanted to see him lose. Personally, I didn't care who won. I just wanted to see a good fight, and it was done nicely. I mean, there was cuts in between where we saw the audience. Didn't really care for what Mavis was saying. Mavis was acting a little weird in this particular chapter. Like, you can kind of tell that there's more to Mavis than this little lowly looking weird character. So eventually we'll probably see Mavis's true form because I'm sure she wasn't a little kid for running the entire guild and whatnot. I'm sure we'll see her true form at some given point. We also got to see more of the Erza and Minerva fights. And I like Erza's new armor. That looks pretty cool, but she'll probably win within the next chapter as well as far as against Minerva, which it's been a weird battle because for like chapter upon chapter now she's just been on the floor with her leg all damaged and everything. So with a struggle, but she'll probably come out on top. We just gotta wait and see ultimately how the outcome is gonna come. But for the most part, I could clearly see her winning. The fight that I didn't care about was the Gray and Jubia and Leon and Celia fight. If Gray and Jubia lost, I'd be totally fine with that. I'd probably even prefer because I just don't really care about that battle. In all honesty, is like it seemed like a joke to me because it's just like it's Leon and Celia. Like Jubia easily can take out Celia. I think in my opinion, Jubia would easily take her. And then Gray versus Leon. I mean, Gray's from Fairy Tail. I don't know. So that particular battle, it more so seems comedic than an actual serious battle. So either way, with the outcome, I don't really care. It's just whatever. And yeah, overall, this particular chapter, the Loxus versus Juro stuff was good, but I didn't really care for the other stuff that was going around, except maybe the airs and stuff. I thought it looked pretty cool, her new armor, but I just want to see like maybe if she hits Minerva or whatever she got. Minerva doesn't go down like in one giant swoop. Maybe she gets, I want to see a longer fight. Cover page was kind of weird. In the cover we actually seen Miliana with like something coming out of her butt. I don't know if she was like shitting herself from being scratched up so much or what. It seemed as though there was like an exceed in her butt. I don't know what the hell was that about, but we'll have to wait and see. Maybe Happy he couldn't take it no more. He was trying to get some booty. I don't know. But yeah, overall this chapter, nothing to complain about really. Like those little instances, maybe you could have said that you wanted to see straight up the fight, but I enjoyed the chapter for the most part, and I thought that the fight was nicely done between Loxus and Jura, with Loxus coming out on top. I mean, if Loxus would lose against Jura, then remember, because it's been already foreshadowed that there are 5 other Saint Wizards that are strong, like, way stronger than Jura. And if Loxus, one of the strongest from Fairy Tail, can't take out Jura, then what hopes do they have? They have no chance whatsoever of going up against those guys because they're claimed as, compared to Jura compared to them was nothing. So obviously Loxus got to win, which Loxus struggled against Jura. You see him all beaten up. So it makes sense for later on foreshadowing that they do have to go up against the 5 Saint Wizards or whatnot. Then they might have a chance, and it won't just be a complete ass pull like he couldn't beat Juro, but then he beats them. But again, we'll just have to wait and see. My rating for this chapter, I give it a 4 out of 5. I think the fight nicely done. Seeing Erza's new armor was pretty cool. Didn't care for the Leon and Juvia stuff, honestly. Didn't really care for that, and I guess Mavis is just whatever. We'll see her true form at some given point. Yeah, let me know what you think, though. Do you feel as though the Loxus versus Jira fight was like some troll fest or something? I know, I'm sure, because like people with Fairy Tail, when it comes to Fairy Tail, there's just such a bias against it. In all honesty, like regardless of how awesome a fight may be or how enjoyable, at the end of the day, they're just gonna comment it was a piece of shit. So whatever. But those same people will say that Law killing Virgo in one swipe, even though previously he couldn't. That's amazing. I'm just saying, like the bias is ridiculous. It's a manga at the end of the day. There's no reason to hate on an actual manga. If a chapter is bad, a chapter is bad. But when a chapter is decent and you're still hating on it, that's ridiculous. But again, let me know what you think overall of the chapter. But that's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Thumbs up if you can't wait to see how this tournament is going to end, because the next chapter is called Gloria, which I guess is like short for maybe the glorious victory or something like that. So maybe we'll have the end of the tournament. We got to see what Sting is up to though, still, because the last time we seen him was last chapter. He was looking all emo, like he was about to do something horrible to everyone. So we got to wait and see for that. I'm for Netherworld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.